Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we've made it to Thursday, the weekend right around the corner, as we awake and begin the day, it's 70 now. A little fog in the area as we wait for a high of 94 is what is expected. And let me remind you about this. This is temperatures that we haven't been accustomed to for, a year. It gets warm quick. Make sure if you're working outside to get plenty of water. Find you a place to sit in this cool. Don't overdo it. Heat will put you down. For years, I worked in a field that dealt with that. Heat stroke is a serious matter. It can happen before you know it. So just use caution when you're outside, and everything will be okay. Take breaks as needed. I've gotten where I just really don't care for that hot weather. How about yourself? Air conditioning has to be the greatest invention ever. It's pretty close, isn't it? I guess iPhone would come after that. As we look at today, we'll look around at where the severe weather could be across the nation. It looks great here in the state of Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana. We don't have any problems, but there are other areas that will probably have some. Also this morning, we'll talk a little bit, and make sure to come back at 8 o'clock. We've got Sheriff Billy Sollie coming in. I think the best way to put it, top of mind awareness of everything that is going on in the Queen City now. Everybody's concerned about crime. Now, if you've been watching my show, my news headlines, for the last, year, nothing is a shock to you. You've seen this coming. We report it as it happens. The areas, there's an email floating around, I'm sure you've seen this by now, that describes crime in areas. It's the same thing I post every day. Is there crime in those areas? Absolutely. Can I verify that email? No, I cannot. Common sense on this. You've seen the shootings where people have been killed, where I report every single day where gunshots are. We all know that Highway 19 stretch there is very dangerous right now. I listed the article that I posted, when was that? Day before yesterday. Maybe it was yesterday. And let me go over here and pull this up. Let me go to the news headlines and just show you this. And this just goes back roughly a month of where things have been happening, the crimes that were there. Let me pull this up here. And we'll go back over again this when Billy's here this morning. You go to Sam Media, and this is the article that I put out yesterday about the robbery that happened. It was armed robbery. I got several different reports when this went down, and I waited 10 hours before I posted it because I couldn't get the exact way things went down. But this is the same gas station to where the two gentlemen were shot. And this was a stabbing here, but where the two men were found dead in the parking lot there and shot. This is the release on that, 325 Highway 19 North. Someone was stabbed there the other night. It wasn't bad. They were cut up with a knife as a robbery happened in the parking lot. But if you look at this is what I just listed over a month. May 16th, a person was shot in the neck of Highway 19 North and 5th Street. Where is that? If you get off the interstate, you go north toward College Park there, and you come to the red light. Across the street to your left, you'll see Mid-South Welding and a title loan place. A guy was shot behind the Exxon station. He stumbled across Highway 19 and fell in the parking lot of Title Loans before daylight. That's where he was found. He wouldn't tell anyone anything about it. He couldn't remember. Well, why did he do that? Most likely he didn't want to tell on it. He didn't want retaliation. As we go back to this, the week of May 9th, that same store, 325, it was snatch and grab. Someone walked in, they bought a candy bar. The cashier is taking the money, and he reaches in the cashier, grabs the money, and runs. No one's hurt, but he did still do it. It was a crime. April the 28th is when we saw the two murders happen in the parking lot of the gas station there. It was outside, happened there. Again, and then later on that night, at dark, what was that, about 10 o'clock, straight down the street from there in the middle of Highway 19, gunfire would break out, and it would shoot a car. The car would run off the road as it was trying to make a turn to get away from them, hit a fire hydrant, ran into the wall of Meridian Cycles, and then gunfire was shot at the car. And if you'll go look at the building, it's an outline of the car. They weren't very good shots. It just circled the car. Fortunately, somehow no one was shot. We go back to April the 20th. This guy's still floating around. The bandit, the shell bandit, the guy that walks in with the ball cap on and the mask. And let me show you this here. Let's go back here right there. You remember that guy? Now, is it the same guy that has been around the area in 3 different robberies? The tobacco store that was robbed right next to the Coca-Cola plant. They're down from AutoZone. It looks like the same guy. May not be. They've got resemblance. He robbed the Shell station. There's a place in Union, Mississippi that's been robbed that also resembles him. We're not sure if it's the same guy or not. We go back to April the 7th on that stretch on Highway 19. Aguilera Tire. All the windows were shot out as a man ran across the street as somebody shooting at him. He was dodging bullets. He made it somehow. Who knows how? But if you'll go back and watch that video, this is what I mean by be aware of your surroundings. It looks like on video, if you're not really paying attention to what's going on, it looks like a peaceful day. The guy crosses the street up by the liquor store, walks across in front of Trustmark Bank, and he's easing along the road. And the moment that he walks past Trustmark and across, what is that, Paulding Street? I'm not looking at the map. Right there beside 19 to keep walking down, the guy standing behind him on the next street corner and unloads at him. He was standing there waiting. He most likely had someone on the phone telling him he's fixing to walk out. Get him. This is what I mean by be aware of your surroundings. If you see somebody acting a little funny, pay attention. Now, with all this being said, is today any worse than last week? No, I don't think so. Or the week before. The crime is rising. Absolutely, without a doubt. Gang wars, that keeps getting brought up. Does Meridian have gangs? Absolutely it does. Do I think it's any worse than it was 2 weeks ago? No. I want you to be careful. This increasingly, what's the word I'm looking for, is expanding areas, is what I mean by that. Typically you've got where the shootings all happen, but it goes out. There's a lot of people say, this area, you don't have to worry about anything. Well, yes, you do. No matter where you are, where you travel, whether it's Jackson, Mississippi, if it's Meridian, Mississippi, make sure you know what's going on around you. The next thing that we're going to get into, let's look at this. This happened yesterday. Now, all of us work hard. I don't care who you are, you're watching me. You get up every day, you go somewhere, you work for your money, you work hard for it. You don't want people to take things that you have. A young lady, and this is just how we've all done this, right here. This was stolen yesterday from the 1800 block of 35th Avenue. Let me close this little blue button here where you can see this. It's a white 2000 GMC, 1800 block of 35th Avenue. The last 4 digits of the tag is 2116. This young lady was getting ready to back out of a driveway. She remembered something inside. She goes inside to get it. She left her car running. Somebody stole it. We now live in a time that you cannot leave your car keys in your car for any length of time, whether it's a second. There's just people that want to take what's yours. They don't want to work. There's no other way to put it. That's how criminals do. Laziness, is that the word? Do y'all agree with that? Am I right? But don't do that. I used to be the world's worst about leaving car keys in a car. I don't anymore after I had a friend of mine's four-wheeler stolen from my shop in my yard. Not mine, and the keys wasn't in it. They pushed it a quarter of a mile before they stole it, before they could load it. They're working out somewhere, I guess. But crime is on the rise. We're going to have, as I said, Billy Sollie in to talk about this. Now, I'm sure the questions will come up of why can't the Sheriff's Department do anything in the city limits. We'll talk to Billy about that. That is one of the most common questions I get. That's coming up this morning. Your safety is what's most important no matter where you are. Things no longer just happen in the middle of the night. Remember those days to where it was always after midnight that it happened? It's not the case anymore. It doesn't happen that way. It can happen at any given time. The gunshots that happen in Meridian that are reported, I try to report everything that I hear about that is factual. I don't post things that did not happen. And a lot will say, well, Scotty Ray, you posted that, but we can't find evidence that a building was hit, or we couldn't find the shell casings right there. I can't prove that. Well, Earl called me. Earl knew it happened. He heard it. He saw it. It's kind of like finding and I use Earl as an example of a name. If I report it, Somebody saw it. It did happen. No one may have been hurt, but it's important to know where things are reported in town, whether it's a robbery, it's gunshots, people that are hurt, whatever the case is, naked man. All of that's important for you to know where you go, and we will continue to do this. Let's see what a quiet night last night. Not a lot went on, and that's good news as we look across this. We did have a foot chase last night. The Meridian Police Department down around behind Fire Station Number 1 had somebody run from them. They caught them 2 or 3 blocks in after a foot chase, and they were taken away to jail. Don't be running. But always, when someone runs, they've done something they shouldn't have. Maybe we'll get the details on what all that was before it's all said and done. As we look around the state of Mississippi, we look to Jackson, Mississippi, one of the things, Ross Barnett Reservoir. Did y'all know there's a petition to change the name of that? I didn't, not until I got to reading on this. They're wanting to change that. Will it happen? I don't know. But be prepared. That could. They started a campaign on that. Mississippi right now has reached the highest we've ever reached as a state level. You tell me what you've seen out there this morning. Yesterday, as you were buying gas, the average in Mississippi is $4.16 a gallon. That's right, $4.16. Now, I personally have paid as high as $4.03. I go back to Ronnie Dunn's "The Cost of Living's Getting High," where he mentioned $4 a gallon in the song. I thought those days were gone. They're not. We were down to $1.69, and it's out of hand. There's no other way to word this. Americans are hurting. The next thing that I read this morning is we're in a very critical, and this could make things even worse. The United States has oil set aside, gasoline, barrels set to the side for reserves in case there was a national emergency. Well, the administration has been releasing these at a million barrels a day. It's depleting the reserves that we have. What's the problem? Well, the United States is no longer pumping its own oil. We were the number one export on this, just about 2 years ago. Do y'all remember that? The good old days? The average person, let me take that back, not the average person. Any American can afford to keep on with this. If you're working a job that pays just barely minimum wage or above, how long can you continue? This is going to lead to our society having major issues. Where it costs you to go to work, people will quit. It will be a domino effect. Someone has to do something. Someone that knows what they're doing. I'll put it that way. I think most Americans, I don't care how you vote, whether you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're independent, by your wallet each week. Sunday drives are about over, aren't they? It's hurting us. Milton, $5.29 a gallon for diesel. Donna Crane says Columbus, Mississippi, $4.18. That's pretty strong. That's really expensive. We hope something happens on this. We're watching this. Clarice Gordon, how are you today? Glad to see you watching us. Barbara Smith, good morning. Ralph Fortenberry, a lot of y'all joining in this morning. We have sad news to report as we look across the state of Mississippi. In Claiborne County, we lost a life yesterday in an auto wreck there. MHP responded to the wreck. A 28-year-old girl lost her life in a head-on collision with a log truck. How sad that is. Someone who's without a daughter, without a wife, without a mother. We pass along condolences to that family. Wrecks can happen in the blink of an eye. How sad that is. We feel for them. As we look to Biloxi, a former Biloxi official, Cliff Kirkland, has been found guilty, and get this, on 9 cases of child molestation. Worked for the city there, Biloxi. He'll be going to jail. 35 years is what they say he's been sentenced at. Is it long enough? Whew. Here's something different. It closed down. Do y'all remember the circus that used to come down? Ringling Brothers. The greatest show. What was the slogan? The greatest show? I'm missing a word there. It's coming back. This time it will not have the animals. They've been taking applications for the last year, and the greatest show on earth, that's it. That's what I was missing. is coming back. It will feature extraordinary humans. So look for that show coming. Maybe they found a new twist to this. Hopefully it'll work there. Let's see. Elizabeth Graham says gasoline $4.27. Brian Guess, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Somebody sit down on this one. $4.29. I'm going to have a heat stroke just sitting here thinking about this. I'm serious. And then, I sold a truck that had a 36-gallon tank. Y'all think about it. You have to literally, that joke floating around, we got approved for a loan to fill up the vehicle today. It's about where it's headed. They have arrested, if you will remember the big case that happened there, Vicky White, that was on the run from Alabama. They have arrested the man that bought the motel room for him. He was paid $100 is what they paid him to get the room. I'm sure he needed the money. They found other charges to arrest him on. They didn't arrest him for that. They got him on some drug charges. He's in a jailhouse now. I don't quite understand this. I'd have to read deeper into this, but as we all know, when you go to buy a vehicle, they're high. I don't care where you go, how you do it, every brand. I remember when I first got married, I think our first car was $6,000, $7,000, and it was a pretty good little car. It was new. That's unheard of now. I remember my dad buying a truck when I was a kid for $3,500. It was loaded out with roll-down windows. That was all that was on it. Well, times have changed. I get that. New cars now, pickup trucks can cost $70,000. Y'all have seen this. I don't understand this. There's mistakes that happened. I wouldn't think it was done on purpose. I could be done wrong. But Ford Motor Company, Mississippi, was part of one of the states that sued Ford. There's they got $250,000 Mississippi out of the settlement. It was millions of dollars that was awarded, but it was all because it was $19.2 million settlement that they had to make. This included, the states are on and on and on, because on the sticker they made a mistake of how much the gas mileage was of what the truck would make. Now, it makes us wonder why we have to overpay for cars. I don't understand a lawsuit that way. Yes, there may have been a mistake, but you can fix that. $19 million how do they ever make a profit and come back? How do you continue to be able to buy something when that is done? And again, I'm not taking up for someone that made a mistake, but isn't that a little excessive? Because that takes away from the worker who's showing up every day on the assembly line. That's just my way of thinking. And I may not have all the facts on that, but it just doesn't make sense that you take gun manufacturers being sued for a gun that somebody else pulled the trigger. I don't understand everything that happens in the judicial system. It's very hard for somebody to make a living. It's a wonder they don't all go bankrupt with these. We go to Atlanta, Georgia next as we look across and see what's happening nationwide this morning. A Taco Bell employee is on the run. Well, what's so special about that? Well, Mr. Taco Bell in Atlanta decided to bring his AR-15 to work and shot 2 people in the parking lot. He's a teenager. They're looking for him. They haven't caught him yet. Here's another story that is shaping America that makes you scratch your head and go, why? New York High School, they have suspended their entire girls' track team. Now, seriously, get this now. This is what the girls asked for. They wanted to be able to wear sports bras when they practice because it's so hot instead of wearing the shirts. We see it on TV all the time. They were suspended. Again, there may be something deeper into the story that I don't know, but common sense says that's not a reason to suspend somebody. Who knows? But that's what they're putting there. A 911 operator has been suspended, and I think she should have. Do y'all remember the Buffalo shooting, that horrible thing that happened? As the guy videoed it of killing people in a grocery store, someone called 911, and the operator hung up on him. Why would you do that? Is it attitude? She's been suspended. That's awful. You think about that. You're in an emergency. Someone's shooting at you, and you call 911, and they just hang up on you. Attitude. I hope they get that worked out there. Let's see here. Middle Tennessee is where we go next. Graduation taking place. Gunfire breaks out into it. One person is dead and others in critical condition. Anytime there's a gathering, and I promise you, make sure you know where exits are, who's walking around. It's almost that you can't enjoy what you're doing. Oh, that's what the criminals want us to do, not to enjoy anything we do. Make sure there's plenty of security. If you're in charge of something, take care of folks. This is the second person that I've seen this week. And as summertime comes about, I can see it being done on beaches. The first one, I think, was in Utah, to where a kid, I think he was 13, dug a tunnel into a red clay hill. It caved and he was killed. A Maine teen was also killed this week. He was on a New Jersey beach and he dug a tunnel in the sand. It caved in on him. He died. Watch your kids. That's a dangerous thing. We don't want that to happen again. 2 is plenty enough as we look at this. George W. Bush. Hadn't seen his name in the news in a while. He's making it this morning as we look at this. Is the word gaffe? I think that's what the way to say it. Sometimes I mispronounce words. I'm not like your CNN guy that has all the words properly said. I'm just like you. I stumble around from time to time. But this one made me chuckle as I read it, as George W. was doing his best to talk about the Ukraine, about how wrong it is. And he accidentally called Ukraine Iraq. It was funny at the moment there. It's almost like a time warp there as George Bush was taken back about 20-something years there. He knew what he wanted to say. He just couldn't get it out. The president makes them all the time. Our current president, anyway. We all should be used to that, shouldn't we? We got a lot to discuss this morning. We got weather coming up in a moment as we travel through this to let you know what's happening today and get you all updated. Let's take a minute and talk about our friends. I got a lot of friends down at the Farm Supply. Have you been by lately? I hope so. See Steve and the gang there. They got a lot to offer you down at the Farm Supply as we take a look around. Fishing season is here. You need a rod? You need a lure? They are jam-packed with all of it, the latest. Drop in and see them. It's a co-op to where you actually get things you need. I like that. If you're working on the flower beds this weekend, plenty of pine straw to take care of yourself, sod. And, of course, we've got the flower shop there. Isn't that just gorgeous? A lot of time went into that. It wouldn't have looked like that had I been in charge of that, I promise you. But they've got it. They've got the right employees to help you pick out exactly what you want. Have a little, is it bling, a little pop to your flower beds? They can help you from T-shirts to getting it all taken care of. Maybe you need some of this. You're looking for some outdoor furniture. They've got all that for you also. Swings and a whole lot more. Ball caps. If you need a pair of overalls, they'll carry it for you, from shoes to mud boots to work boots. It's all there at the Farm Supply, including your pet supplies. And, of course, horse, cattle feed. You need some sweet feed. They've got that for you. Guns, ammo, the whole 9 yards. Lauderdale County Farm Supply, exit 151. Drop in and visit with them. They'll take care of you. They have exactly what you're looking for.
One of the most important places to you is your home. That's why Patrick Allen Companies is proud to provide style, functionality, and security to your home. There's nothing quite like a well-designed overhead garage door or vinyl replacement windows, or the safety of a storm shelter to help your family feel protected. Patrick Allen offers doors and windows for commercial and industrial with dozens of innovative designs. Patrick Allen Companies, safety, service, and satisfaction.
As we look to Milton, says that the Neshoba Central girls won their 9th state championship. So congratulations to Neshoba Central. That is big. 9 of them. Big time. Let's see here. As we look down some more comments here. Carthage this morning. Joy Shuttle tells us the gasoline is $4.29. Justin Seipel, Scuba, Mississippi, $4.29. You're 40 miles from anywhere there. Add that up coming to town. Let's see, Flora Overstreet, how are you? Laura Lee, good to see you there. Ralph Fortenberry's up. Talking about those trucking companies, the cost of how it happens there. Let's see, glancing across here, Lauren Stokes says in South Enterprise, $4.29 this morning. Beth Vick, good to see you up as well. We've got some high prices, that's for sure. Keep that coming. We'll take some gas prices and put those around so you can keep track of what's going on with that. Let's go to radar this morning and take a look at what we've got as we pull this up. And where did it go? There we are. Meridian Honda radar shows us that, well, there's no rain in Mississippi, Alabama. We see that pretty clear, but we do have some fog. First off, let's talk about where some severe weather could happen today across the U.S. of A. As we look at this area here stretching from Missouri to Kentucky back over to Wilmington and Raleigh, North Carolina. This area up here in Des Moines, as we look at this, could be some tornadic activity going on today. They're going to watch this closely. So you live in this area, you got friends and family, keep that in mind. Now, for our friends that are out here, Denver, Colorado, y'all be ready. Tomorrow and Saturday, you've got snow forecasted, and a lot of it. Can you believe that? Denver, y'all be prepared. The roads will be slick as we look at that. We'll keep a close eye on that. Let's dig deeper into Mississippi and take a look at what we've got showing here. As we look at this, we could have some light fog popping up in our area as well. We go to Macomb, down in southwest Mississippi, tons of fog there from Brookhaven down to Columbia, Monticello, even in parts of Louisiana there we've got a little bit. So be careful. Highway 90, these areas here. Highway 98, rather. I had that a little wrong, didn't I? Summit, Mississippi. Tylertown, y'all have got it. And again, as I mentioned, all through these areas up through here, there could be some light fog where you are, so be careful as we look at that Meridian Honda radar. All right, let's get in and find out what the National Weather Service has in surprise for us when it comes to weather today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs, record lows, 1962, we had a high of 95 on this date. Back in 76, I would be in first grade, and it would be 42 degrees today. Whew, doesn't seem that long ago. As we look at this, sunshine expected today. 94 is what we'll get in Meridian. As we go further north through Philadelphia and we make it up through Louisville and almost to Mississippi State, we'll have a few clouds in that area. Still 94. Hot, hot, hot to the south. 92 in Hattiesburg as we go over to Natchez. 93, and it looks like it'll be about 91 throughout the Mississippi Delta. As we go to the east through Alabama, Tuscaloosa, y'all are looking at 93 today, all the way over to Auburn, 91, and we'll see about 94 in Livingston, Alabama as we go through Geiger as well, those areas there. 94 as well for you. It's going to be sunny and hot. Y'all be prepared. Let's see. This is what's coming as we see here, Mississippi. We're covered up with that heat wave right now. A little bit warmer down on the coast and throughout Florida. Still hot in Mississippi there. And looky here, it's more on the way. It's not going to be a big break from this. We've got hot weather in store. This could be a long, hot summer. Not to be a play on words. All right, here's our forecast of what we've got today from the National Weather Service as we watch this closely. A high of 92. We'll get down to 68 tonight. And again, we could have some fog where you are this morning. And it's going to be gusty today. We got 20-mile-an-hour gusts, so that heat's going to be blowing around in your face most of the day. By tonight, as we said, gusts will continue, 20 miles an hour, low of 69. Tomorrow, we'll end the week with sunshine. Looks like we'll get up to 92 and warm. Be prepared. Rain is on the way this weekend as we'll get into Saturday. All of this falls in the afternoon, after lunchtime, after 1 o'clock. High of 92, 50% chance of showers, and gusts of 25 miles an hour. By Sunday, look at the temperature drop. We'll drop to 82 as we look at this rain, but the National Weather Service is telling us, and this will change, 90%. My radar system is telling us 70% chance on Sunday. It'll be close either way. Rain is going to happen. Looks like it'll be in the afternoon as well. About the time you get out of church is when the bottom should fall out. We'll watch it. We're a couple of days out on that. By Monday, we're only at 80 as that happens there with that rain. And the forecast all the way through Wednesday. By Wednesday, we'll start seeing those temperatures rise again. Let's go all the way to June the 2nd. I got that wrong at the top. We'll stay in the 80s through the 27th, and then we're back on the 28th, and we stay in the 90s all the way through June the 2nd. So it's a heat wave coming. That's what we've got. Be prepared for it. And again, I've told you to take plenty of breaks. What's happening with the tropical storm? We go to the National Hurricane Center this morning to take a look at what they're telling us. Absolutely nothing there yet. That's good news. June 1st is official season as we do the countdown. They're releasing this each day. You want to go fishing today? Let's see what we've got. Chet's Paint and Body brings it today. The best time to hit the water will be this afternoon, 4:37. till about 6:30. So let's go with 4:30 in the afternoon till dark 30. A great time to wet a hook. What will the wind do? Southwest 5 to 10. And again, gusty of 20 miles an hour is what we've got. Well, that's a complete look at your forecast. A few headlines around the area. I invite you back. It's going to be a big show as we welcome in Sheriff Billy Sollie this morning. He'll be here to tell us more about what's going on in the community, crime. You can ask him questions here. You just ask Billy a question, he'll be able to tell you. That's all coming up this morning at 8 a.m., bright early. You can follow us here on YouTube. Follow us, subscribe there under sammedia.network or Facebook under the Scotty Ray Report. Plenty of ways there on Twitter. And you can also watch us on television. We'll be joining you live on 24.3. We'll be there, MeTV. We'll see you back in 1 hour from now. Y'all be careful, and we'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: